Your body has a built-in snitch. You can hide a bad opinion, pretend you understood the meeting. You can even wave confidently at someone who is clearly waving at the person behind you. But the moment you feel embarrassed, your face turns red and announces, "Yes, this man has made a mistake." And strangely, humans may be the only animals that visibly blush because of embarrassment. Dogs do not turn red after stealing your sandwich. Cats feel no shame about anything. And a chimpanzee has never spent 3 days remembering something awkward it said in 2017. At least, as far as we know. So why did evolution give humans an emotion we cannot hide and then display it on the most visible part of the body? Blushing is an involuntary reddening of the face, and sometimes the ears, neck, and upper chest. It can happen when you feel embarrassed, ashamed, exposed, complimented, or suddenly placed at the center of attention. And that last one matters, because you do not even need to do something wrong. Someone can simply say, "Everyone, look at Ivan." And Ivan's face may immediately begin preparing for a small house fire. Nothing bad has happened. Nobody has accused Ivan of anything, but his nervous system has apparently heard. The trial begins now. When you become self-conscious, your autonomic nervous system reacts. That is the part of your body that controls things you normally do not manage directly, such as heart rate, sweating, and changes in your blood vessels. Blood flow near the surface of the face increases. If facial blood vessels are close to the skin, the change can become visible, especially around the cheeks. But here is the annoying part. You cannot simply decide not to blush. Try telling yourself, "Do not turn red." Congratulations. You have now made turning red the only thing your brain can think about. Imagine you are speaking in front of a room. You make a small mistake. Probably nobody cares. Then you think, "Did anyone notice?" Now you are no longer thinking about what you are saying. You are thinking about whether other people are thinking about what you are thinking. This is the kind of unnecessary administrative work the human brain creates for itself. You feel warmth in your face. Then you wonder whether your face looks red. Then you imagine everyone noticing that you are wondering whether your face looks red. Now the original mistake is gone. The new emergency is your own face. This creates a loop. You fear blushing. That fear increases your self-consciousness. Your self-consciousness makes blushing more likely. And the blush confirms your fear. Your nervous system has successfully turned one awkward second into a complete internal documentary series. Blushing is also different from ordinary facial flushing. Eat, exercise, spicy food, alcohol, or certain medical conditions can also make the face red. But emotional blushing is connected to being socially observed or evaluated. In other words, your body is not reacting only to temperature. It is reacting to other people. Here is where blushing becomes truly strange. You can blush even when nobody is watching. You might remember an embarrassing moment while lying alone in bed. Suddenly, your face feels warm. The event happened 6 years ago. The people involved have probably forgotten it. One of them may not even remember your name, but your brain has scheduled an emergency replay at 2:14 a.m. in the morning. Thank you, brain. Very useful. This happens because the audience does not always need to be physically present. Humans can imagine how other people see us. We carry an invisible audience inside our heads. That ability helps us navigate friendships, reputation, cooperation, and social rules. But it also means you can embarrass yourself in front of people who are not currently in the room, which raises a much bigger question. If blushing feels so unpleasant, why did evolution not remove it? Why keep a reaction that makes you look vulnerable at exactly the moment you would prefer to look calm? Suppose you accidentally spill coffee on another person. There are two possible reactions. In the first, you stare at them with a completely blank face and say, "Interesting." In the second, you look horrified, apologize, lower your eyes, and visibly blush. Which person seems more trustworthy? Probably the second one. Not because the coffee disappeared, their shirt is still ruined, but the embarrassment tells you that the mistake mattered to them. The blank-faced person, meanwhile, looks like this may not be their first coffee-related incident. Researchers have found that visible embarrassment, including blushing, can improve how other people judge someone after a social mistake. A blush may signal that the person recognizes the rule they broke, cares about the reaction of others, and does not want to repeat the mistake. It can act as a form of social apology before the mouth finishes speaking. And because blushing is difficult to produce deliberately, it may be harder to fake than words. Anyone can say, "I am deeply sorry," especially after being caught. But voluntarily opening the blood vessels in your cheeks is not normally available in the human control panel. That makes the signal appear more honest. Your face is not only betraying you, it may also be defending your reputation. For most of human history, living with other people was not optional. Your group helped provide food, protection, information, childcare, and survival. Being disliked by one stranger was uncomfortable. Being rejected by your entire group could be dangerous. So humans became extremely sensitive to social evaluation. We watch expressions, we notice tone, we track who trusts whom, and we care deeply about whether other people believe we are cooperative. A visible blush may have helped communicate, "I understand that something went wrong. I care what you think. I nap," proudly declaring war over the spilled berries. That does not mean blushing evolved for one proven, simple purpose. Its evolutionary history is still debated, but one strong idea is that it became useful as an involuntary signal of embarrassment, appeasement, and sincerity. Essentially, your face may be displaying the ancient version of "my apologies. Please do not remove me from the group chat." Now we reach the claim that makes this subject famous. Charles Darwin described blushing as one of the most distinctly human emotional expressions. Other animals certainly show changes in skin color and blood flow. Some primates have exposed skin that can become redder. Birds can change the color of bare skin around the face. Animals also show fear, submission, excitement, and social discomfort. But that is not automatically the same as human emotional blushing. The important feature is not simply becoming red. It is becoming red because you are self-conscious about how others see you. To blush in the human sense, an animal may need some awareness of its own social image, and proving what another species thinks about its own reputation is extremely difficult. You cannot ask a baboon, "Were you embarrassed, or is it just warm today?" So the careful answer is this. Humans are the only species clearly known to display this particular form of socially triggered, self-conscious blushing. That does not prove no other animal has anything similar. It means we do not yet have convincing evidence. Not everyone blushes with the same frequency or intensity. Skin tone changes how visible it is. Facial blood vessels differ. Temperament matters. And people who are highly sensitive to social evaluation may notice or fear blushing more. But here is an important distinction. Feeling as though your entire face has become a warning beacon does not mean other people see it as strongly as you do. When you feel embarrassed, your attention turns inward. You notice every degree of warmth, every heartbeat, every tiny change. Meanwhile, the person across from you may be thinking about lunch. This is one of the great injustices of self-consciousness. You are experiencing a full psychological disaster. Everyone else is checking whether the restaurant has fries. For some people, however, fear of blushing becomes severe. The fear itself can lead them to avoid speaking, meeting people, or becoming the center of attention. At that point, the bigger problem is no longer the color of the face. It is the life being organized around preventing it. And there is one final twist. A person who blushes often assumes it makes them look weak or incompetent. But observers may sometimes interpret the same blush as evidence that the person is sincere, modest, or genuinely concerned. The signal you hate may look kinder from the outside. So why do humans blush? Physically, it happens because an automatic nervous system response changes blood flow near the surface of the face. Psychologically, it is linked to self-consciousness and social evaluation. And socially, it may help show that we care about mistakes, rules, and the opinions of other people. You experience it as betrayal, but your group may experience it as honesty. Her face is still a snitch. Let us not excuse its behavior completely. It reveals private information without permission. It chooses the worst possible timing. And it has never once asked whether you would like to enable this feature. It may be a snitch that has spent thousands of years quietly telling other humans, "This person understands what happened. This person cares. Give them another chance." Which means the next time your face turns red after an awkward moment, you do not need to love it. But remember, your body may not be announcing that you failed. It may be announcing that you are human.